Today on our Ask the Oracle podcast, we've got a really juicy topic and the most amazing guest. Our topic today is Awakening to Infinite Potential, a magical conversation with Steph Coutts. Join us in this enlightening episode of Ask the Oracle as we welcome the inspiring Steph, a spiritual coach, speaker, and visionary business owner. Steph guides spiritually conscious LGBTQIAP plus individuals, allies, and women towards living authentically and vibrantly through light language, subconscious recalibration, and soul activation. Steph empowers others to reconnect with their bodies and discover their true purpose. Tune in to hear about Steph's spiritual journey, her transformative practices, and her devotion to creating inclusive, sacred spaces for personal growth. Hi, Steph. Welcome to Ask the Oracle podcast. How are you, my love?
Hi. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me on your beautiful podcast. I will admit, I listen to it and I love it, and I have smiles on my face every time I listen to your podcast. So I'm really excited to be a part of this and to explore whatever's going to come today and enjoy the ride.
Oh, I love that so much. And thank you so much for that. That's so lovely. So let's soar into these questions together. Let's dive deep. Let's
Let's
delve
go.
into the mystic. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. So, Steph, can you share your journey of discovering and embracing your spiritual gifts?
Beautiful. So, like a lot of us that are aware and open, we've all had moments in our lives where we've had experiences and then fears come in and we shut it off.
Yeah.
And so when I was a teenager, I had a few experiences where I would see spirits. And because I didn't have anyone in my life at that time that was open to that or that I could speak to, I went, oh, no, that's scary. I'm going to shut it off. And then I started to get into conversations and experiences and groups in my early 20s that opened that again. And I went through a really massive transformative moment in my early to mid 20s where I just opened up and I had a massive awakening, and I started to see things, hear things, experience things, and I felt, in all honesty, I felt like I was going crazy. And thankfully I had beautiful people in my life at that time that were like, you're not
Yes.
going crazy.
Yeah.
You're actually aware and you're opening up to more than the 3D perception. You're opening up to more, and the consciousness and the awareness and the universe. And ever since then, I've just embraced it and I've run with it and I've soared with it and I've flown with it. And it just keeps evolving and growing, and my gifts expand. And so it has been a journey and a half, and I am so grateful for every single step.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I just really kind of admire that you own, like you really, you own it. You step into it, you fully embody it. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I felt like there was never a point where I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
There's been moments where there's been fear and there's been
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
scarcity and I've been slapped in the face with my shadows constantly of insecurities and fears and doubts. And
Yeah.
is this even real? And am I really hearing things or seeing things? Am I going crazy? And every time I had those moments in the past where I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, Spirit was like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
That's it.
You're here for a bigger.
Yeah. It's not optional,
No.
you know.
Once you
Yeah.
allow yourself to really
There's no
step
going back.
into,
Yeah.
nah, there is
That's
no
it.
going back. Plus, I wouldn't want to.
No.
I don't feel like I would want to walk around with my eyes closed now that I can experience all that there is.
That's it.
And that inner peace, and even through the challenges that our contracts that we wrote in our contracts,
Yeah.
our souls were like, these things are going to happen and we have to experience them. Even through the challenging, like really, really, really heavy, horrible things,
Yeah.
the awareness that you have, the spirit and the consciousness and the cosmos in that, I feel like has been such a blessing, and I'm so grateful to be able to have those gifts and to have those awarenesses, because I wouldn't be where I am without them.
Yes, I love that. So what inspired you to explore light language? And you may need to explain what light language is for some of our listeners, and how does it benefit those that I know you work with? Yeah.
So light language and light codes are different. So the light language is like language of the universe, language of the cosmos. So how we have variations of languages on earth, Arabic, English, Spanish, Portuguese, we have ranges of languages from different cultures. We have that in terms of the cosmos. So the cosmos has different languages from different species and races and galaxies. And then light codes are the symbols of those. So light codes are the ones that are written, the light codes that are translated into symbols and written down. So how this incredible awareness came to be was about 5-6 years ago. Someone incredible in my life noticed that I was drawing, and they were like, "What are you drawing?" And I didn't realize at the time, and they were like, "I think you're translating." And I was like, "Huh." And we had this beautiful discussion and discovery of it. And I started just exploring, and that transformed into when I would channel and when I would have these beautiful sessions with my clients. The channels, I wouldn't hear them in English. I wouldn't hear them. I'd hear them in the other language. And I was like, what is this? And so I really dove into it, and I really felt into it. And the threads from the various galaxies, and then they would, I'm getting an incoming channel. Do you feel open if I channel this for you?
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm going to close my eyes and open them as well as this channel comes through. So the language of light is the translation from the messages of either spirit guides, ancestors, or galactic beings that have messages for us to help us transform, heal, upgrade, download, evolve. And these messages come with the purity that is love, that is light, that is the frequency of all, and the oneness that our human experiences seek. This is the language of it, and the symbols that we've given Stephanie to transform into knowledge on earth are those to integrate and raise the frequency of the earth. And the people, humans that she interacts with, that receives these channelings, which you've created, Suzy, a beautiful space for this to be witnessed and held. The foundations of what's being transformed, transcended, spoken to today, has set in motion the wheels for everyone that listens, watches, engages, embodies this, as well as Stephanie and Suzy today. This is changing timelines. This is transcendent. This is purity of knowledge and embodiment and power. And the cosmic waves are here for us to rest. Oh,
Thank you, my love. That was
oh,
so, oh, that just, I felt it. I felt it. I sensed it. That was really sacred and profound and really beautiful. So thank you for sharing that.
mm,
Thank you for having the courage to bring that forward. That's really
mm,
beautiful.
thank you. And to answer the question of how people, or how they will work through this,
Yes. How do they benefit from it? Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, you did explain it.
yeah. But there's so many beautiful people that are stuck in their patterns and programs that are keeping
Mm,
them in a vibration that they actually don't want to operate in
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
They want to tap into their soul's potential. They want to tap into who they're really meant to be and their purpose, and find that inner peace and access their power and their truth to stand in the pillars of their own strength and go, this is who I am. I love who I am. I'm enough as I am. I'm amazing as I am. I don't need to be anyone else. I don't need to follow steps to do these things by anyone else. My compass, my soul compass is, I'm okay with that. I've got this. And so that's a big part of what I'm here to help people
Yeah.
uncover.
To really kind of release any, patterning, conditioning, programming that, no longer serves their highest, happy and most peaceful self. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Thank you.
So you also work with the Akashic Records, and I find the
Yes.
Akashic Records really fascinating
Oh,
for
I'm
so
getting
many different reasons.
I'm getting truth bumps when you said that. So I call body activations truth bumps. So when you get goosebumps, I call them truth bumps. So when you
Yeah.
said that, my
Love it.
body just went, oh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, I got those same truth bumps when you were doing, your channeling. Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
So Akashic Records, how do they play a
Mm.
role in your practice?
So I'm not too sure if your listeners, I'm going to start that again. I'm not, because I'm still,
Yeah, yeah.
language for me, I pause a bit, and words sometimes get muddled because I have to translate all the time from light to English.
Yes.
So the Akashic Records is a beautiful library of books where each individual soul has access to their own book for each lifetime. And they can go back and read what their past lives experience and what messages and lessons they need to either rewrite, relearn, uncover, let go of, and expand on in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And the Akashic Records, there's certain moments, like in our soul contracts we've written. The soul went, these things are happening, the rest is free will, the rest is choices. But there's fated moments and experiences and people that are also written in our Akashic Records, and how that's utilized so beautifully in sessions, workshops, events that I run, circles that I run, is that especially when it's in more of an individual experience, where it's a one-on-one or it's a group experience, if they're open and their soul and themselves gives permission, because permission's always respected and honored,
Yes.
that
That gift of free will, that sovereignty, that
mm,
self-governing energy. Yeah.
mm,
Absolutely.
mm,
Yeah.
I ask for them if I can tap into that, and I channel from their Akashic records, either past lives, if that feels that's right for that moment, or what's currently happening and what they've written for moments in their life where that can lead to doors opening for them and opportunities opening for them that they wouldn't have known previously. Oh, okay, this direction is going to help me do this. Or if I meet this person, it's going to help me lead to this. So the Akashic Records is a beautiful library with so much knowledge and information that we can access. And it honestly, it kind of looks, from my visual, for what I've seen, it looks like pure light codes, holographic,
Yes.
transcended into like columns,
Yes.
where it kind of looks like there's golds and silvers and hues of rainbows mixed in with kind of like the Beauty and the Beast mixed with Harry Potter's library. That's kind of the visual that they've given me.
That's a great visual. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love
So
it.
good. So
Have
good.
you
I
have
love
you
it.
have you ever had experiences with, or do you know
Yeah.
much about?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I often, if I'm doing a session with someone and there's something that keeps coming up for them or something that comes up in the reading or whatever, and I'll often go, oh, they've just shown me a past life, or,
Mm,
and I believe we've had, many past lives, not just a few.
mm,
But they've shown me a past life that's really relevant to what's happening to you now, that's
mm,
impacting on your life now.
mhm,
And
mhm,
often when I explain it to them, they go, "Oh my goodness, that's why I feel trapped," or "That's why I keep
mm,
repeating this pattern," or, and I
mhm,
believe the whole point of picking up on either, past lives, or perhaps even from your own ancestral lineage, the memory of that, or whatever it might
mm,
be, is so that you can learn and grow and evolve and heal from it and be aware of it. It's not just a parlor trick. It's important that it's actually, it's happening for a reason too. So
mm,
the Akashic Records, yes, I've often kind of experienced that when I've been in trance meditation or something like that.
mhm, mhm.
The light codes I've definitely had an experience with,
Yeah,
and light language as well. Yeah, I
beautiful.
think light language is not something that I channel,
Mm,
but I'm a Reiki master teacher. So when I used to do the attunements for students, I'd often see and experience the light codes, and I'd often
mm,
experience when I used to do the kind of the attunements, you do them like almost like a channeling, and my
mm.
voice would change dramatically.
Yeah,
And I knew that that voice was not my own voice, if that makes sense.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
channel it in a different way, but it's
Mm,
yeah. And I'd have to say to people, when I channel these attunements,
mm.
don't get a fright, because the voice will not be my voice.
Yeah,
And they go, all right, okay.
yeah.
Um, so
Isn't
yeah,
that so powerful that when you really think about it, everything's energy.
yeah,
Matter is energy, furniture's energy, crystals are energy, like everything is energy.
yes,
And the cosmos has dropped these beautiful, inspirational knowledge into whoever created that, whether it's furniture, whether it's crystals. And the fact that when we can channel pure energy from wherever it is that we're channeling, and
yeah,
that actually changes the tone of our
yes,
voice. And that's mind-blowingly amazing. And it never
yes,
ceases to amaze me that
yeah,
that people that do this, like
yeah,
you and I and other people that are listening or wanting to explore those gifts,
yes.
that's part of what we can do and what we are able to access is
It's
inc-
really exciting. Like, I remember recently my yoga teacher said to me, well, when she sings in Sanskrit script, that really
mm,
ancient text,
mm,
that but she can't sing in English,
yeah,
right? So she can yeah, it's an interesting thing.
That's
So obviously to me,
beautiful.
that's like this, you know, this either ancestral lineage memory or past life memory or whatever it might
Yeah.
be. But when she's, yeah, that I found that quite fascinating.
That's
So
beautiful too.
yes, it's beautiful. Because I remember saying to her, oh, you know, when you do that channeling, it's really beautiful. And she said, you know, the funny
Mm.
thing is, Suze, I can sing in ancient text, but I can't sing in English. It doesn't come out the same way. I mean, I can,
Yeah.
but it doesn't come out as beautifully as it comes out when I speak,
Yeah.
when I sing
So she's
in
channeling.
his channeling.
Every time she sings, she's channeling.
Exactly. And she won't mind me telling you that because she tells everyone that. So that's okay. So my next question for you, my love, is how do you
Mm.
guide souls, individuals, to recalibrate their unconscious, their subconscious, and
Mm.
restructure their
Mm.
DNA? Because I love that kind of marriage of science and spirit, you know,
Mm.
that whole.
Mm.
So tell me a little bit about that and how that works. Yeah.
Yeah. So I completely agree with that blend of science and spirituality. I'm 100% on that bandwagon because science is finally catching up to spirituality and what, you know, we've all known for a very long time. And they're finally catching up to how the brain's chemicals react to certain energy and how that can actually impact the way that we work and the way that we operate in our day to day.
Yes.
So with clients, when they come to me and they're wanting to change XYZ, they're wanting to change a belief system that's holding them and staying them stuck in who they don't want to be. And they're
Yeah.
like, I'm done. I'm ready to actually step into the person I want to be. And so I have 2 different programs, an 8-week one and a 12-week one, where I guide them through customized, tangible tools for each individual person, whether it's they're in a group or they're individual. Each one's customized for them because their unique journey, their soul evolution journey, is
Yeah.
unique to them.
Yes.
And what one way definitely will not work for someone else.
Yeah.
So, with tools and channels and workbooks and daily practices
Yeah.
that they implement and they do a lot of mirror work. And mirror work can be so scary for a lot of people when they first start to do it because they are really learning to love who they are in the mirror. And it goes
Yeah.
beyond the beautiful vessel, this body that we asked to be born into.
Yes.
It goes beyond that. And actually, they have to see their patterns in their face one to one and they cannot run. And they stand there and they really embody. And insecurities come up, fears come up, self criticism comes up, self bullying comes up. There's so many human conditionings that are not always ours either. And we're not always aware that our ancestors, that we're holding on to their stuff, that we're holding on to what they couldn't let go of, what they couldn't actually
Yeah.
remove, we hold on to because we're the people and we're the souls that are meant to let it go. And so
Yes.
there's been beautiful clients where they've walked into this beautiful experience and these beautiful courses, subconscious reprogramming courses, and they've come out someone completely different. And they, even the way they talk and the language they use, even when they talk and the way they talk to themselves, is completely different because they've put in the work day to day to actually implement the tools that I channel for them and embody the person that they actually want to be. And
Yes.
it gets me every time
Yes.
because
Yeah.
I honor that I'm the vessel, but they're doing the work.
They're doing the work. Yeah,
They're
that's
doing
right.
every day. They're putting in the time, they're
Yes.
putting in the effort because they realize that whilst they have experiences with other people, whilst they have interactions and relationships and friendships, but they've only got, at the end of the day, we've got ourselves.
Exactly.
And if we
Yeah.
don't love ourselves wholeheartedly and we
Yeah.
don't give ourselves the self worth that we deserve,
Exactly. Yeah.
that changes the interaction and the frequency and the vibration that we allow others to interact with us as well. And then that gives them permission to treat us the way that we should or shouldn't treat ourselves.
Yes. Yeah, I love that you spoke about mirror work. That's, that beautiful kind of deep self-reflection and loving all parts of yourself and integrating, but also the reframing, reframing the conditioning, programming, limiting beliefs, and as you said, it may not even be yours necessarily. It's that generational pain or patterning that keeps popping up, be that pattern breaker, reframe those kind of, the patterning that's no longer serving you, and kind of the way you explain that so beautifully and in such a loving way is really, really empowering. And you're quite right. We can tell people over and over again, but if they're not prepared to actually,
show up
and embody the work, it's not really going to happen, right?
Exactly. And I read this quote the other day that I was just like, yes, it's so true. Our brain is neuroplasty. The chemicals in our brain are neuroplasty. They're not hardwired and stuck to a certain way of operating.
Yeah.
If we choose to, as I said, the language that we choose to speak to ourselves, the thoughts, if we really get into the nitty gritty and the core belief system, and we change that core belief system,
yes,
that can actually completely change how we operate, how we breathe, how we move, how we go about our day-to-day lives. And then that ripples out into our purpose and who we want to be on this earth and what we want to actually experience in this lifetime.
Yes.
Because I really don't believe that the people that say we're stuck in, this is just who I am.
Yeah.
Needs to leave.
Yeah, that's it. Even that's a mantra, right?
Yeah.
So, as within, so without. And I love that you explained, the best relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. All of the other relationships are complementary, are wonderful, don't get me wrong. And there's so much learning and growth in relationships. But in saying that, as within, so without. So you have to do the inner work. And you know what I found over the years too, me included, quite a lot of really spiritual people that have done the work, in our conscious, we know exactly what to do and say. But if there's something embedded in the unconscious, it's it's going to keep resurfacing until you really kind of learn to transmute as well, So I love that. That's so cool.
100%. You said that. You said that perfectly. Yes. And there's been so many moments in my life over the last probably about 6-7 years where there's been really big challenges and really life-altering things that have happened, and that's really like thrown in my face the work that I've had to do internally to get to where I am today. And there's been experiences that have broken me and made me, and I've rebuilt from the ground up.
Yeah.
And whilst they've been challenging and both amazing and turmoil, but exciting, and there's been the polarity of everything.
Yes.
When I help people, I speak from experience. I speak from channeling, but I also speak from experience. So it's never just you do this and this will happen.
Yeah.
It's lived and breathed experience.
Exactly.
Mixed in with the spiritual aspect of it and that beautiful balance and dance of both. And I think I've noticed that there's this beautiful new age spirituality where people tend to still this toxic positivity where we're not always meant to be positive. There's this beautiful shadow parts of us
night and day,
that if we
winter, summer,
if we actually accept our shadows And we
Yes.
don't reject the insecurities. We don't reject the fears. We
Yeah.
show them love. We show them light. And
Compassion, love. Yeah.
we say thank you, but
Understanding.
I'm choosing to believe that I'm worthy.
Yeah.
So insecurity, thank you. You've served a purpose up
Yeah.
until now.
Yeah.
But I'm choosing to get out of survival mode and start to feel vibrantly alive and thrive.
Yeah.
And I choose to believe in who I am.
That's it. That's it.
Mm.
Yeah. Love that. So the next question I'm going to ask you, and I
Yeah.
hope I'm saying this in a very respectful way.
Beautiful.
So what was your journey like in accepting your sexuality?
Mm.
And why is it important for you to support this really gorgeous, diverse, beautiful community that we live in? Yeah.
Mm. So the journey with my sexuality, it was a bumpy one.
Yeah.
And it was my first crush when I was 7, I think, was a girl. And the experience of accepting that that was such a big part of who I am, it was really challenging. There was hard moments in it. There was shame around it. There was guilt around it. There was acceptance, not acceptance. There was, I'll give myself a little bit of a label, but I won't fully accept it.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where, like spirituality, but this was before that, I couldn't shut it off anymore. I was like, this is just who I am. If I don't love myself and accept who I am, I don't want to stay this shell of a person that walking around with this big lump in my throat wanting to speak my truth. And it kind of just burst out of me, and I was just like, this is who I am. And then I kind of ran away from it a bit. And then I went back and I was just like, you know what? It's okay. I'm okay. And I had to find safety within myself and really learn how to find safety within my body and myself through the rejections, through the not understandings, through the this is just a phase from other people. I had to find safety and acceptance and self-love within myself. And so I've found that through the work that I do, there's so many beautiful spaces for such larger communities where there hasn't been a safe and inclusive space and leader in the LGBT community that is spiritual, because there's a lot of people in the LGBT community that are spiritual.
Yeah.
And they want to go to someone they can relate to and has had similar experiences and can really relate to their dynamic, their journey. And even though it's individual, that you can be embraced and feel safe and feel included to explore that side of yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's not just for the LGBT community, it's for women too. I work with a lot of women. I work with a lot of allies as well.
Yeah.
But the LGBT community is something I'm really passionate about.
Yeah.
I feel really strongly that we deserve a space and someone to be like, you've got us. Let's do this together. Let's walk hand in hand in this journey.
Is today National Unity Day or something?
Is it?
I think so. Anyway, but we're not. It may not be when the podcast goes out, but it's certainly even that's in alignment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well,
yeah.
it's Venus Day today.
Yes. How good is that?
I know.
Yeah.
Perfect alignment.
Thank you for answering that. That was so beautifully expressed. So
thank you.
You've already answered it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So how do you create inclusive and sacred spaces? So safe, sacred spaces for healing and transformation. And I know that's something that should be happening in every arena, in every sacred space, in every circle. But, you know, I'm just curious as to how you actually do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the moment, everything's online as I'm finding an actual physical space to hold those in.
Yeah.
Previously, I held a space where when people walk in, they're accepted instantly. I asked them
Yeah.
if they would like a hug, because not everyone feels comfortable.
Yes.
And I embrace them, and they are safe, and I let them just breathe and let it all go, let the outside world go, and they're held. I also ask them their pronouns so that they feel comfortable, and I address them
Yes.
with what they feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
And the space ignites all their senses.
Yes.
So, say, smell, touch,
Yeah.
taste, sight,
I'm the same way.
hearing.
I call it layering the magic. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's beautiful.
You know, and I
Like,
like things to be congruent. You know, so if you're working, you know, with rose quartz, there'd be rose essential oils, there'd be beautiful roses, there'd be, you know, because I love all of the color therapy, the aromatherapy, the
yeah, you're
crystals, all
activating
of
all the,
that. Or even just a synergy of a few different things. But
yeah,
yeah, I love the way you yes, you kind of like enliven their senses, because psychic senses move through physical senses, through our physical body temple as well. So
mm, mm,
yeah, yeah. I love the hug. I'm the exact same way. Would you
mm-hmm.
like a hug?
Oh yeah,
Not everybody wants a hug. I learned that very early on.
yes, same.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, yeah. And just being so respectful of people's individuality and
Exactly. And
what they feel
also
comfortable with. Yeah.
create that comfortableness as well. So texture is really important for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people, when I run my circles, I find that they need blankets or pillows because that's their safety. And then as they move through the workshop, the event, the session, the circle, whatever
Yeah.
they're moving through, I've noticed that they let go of whatever they've got that's protecting them,
Yeah.
because they are starting to be, oh, I'm safe. I don't need this blanket to be a comforting thing to protect. I'm
Yeah.
actually held.
Or a barrier. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Love it. Beautiful. Can you share some powerful experiences or transformations you've witnessed through your work? And I do a
Mm-hmm.
lot of online work as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, energy is energy. You know, to me, you know, I love the touchy feely in-person workshops and events too, but I find the online space, you know, is just as good. So
Yeah,
um yeah, can you explain some, you know, a powerful experience you've witnessed through your work? Yeah.
yeah. So that what you just said before, energy's energy, and we both said that earlier on in this beautiful conversation,
Yeah.
where energy transcends energy. Just because it's through a screen, just because it's online, the
Yeah.
experiences can still be transformational, because
Yes.
it's the openness of the person that is receiving it, and the
Yes.
openness that's being exchanged in that vortex, in that energy field,
Yeah.
that the, the universe is the limit. There's no, it's evolving, it's growing, it's experiencing. There's no real tangible thing that needs to happen for amazing things to be created. And that can be both in online and in person. And I've had a few that really have stood out to me. They all are incredible, every single one of them. But I remember, I want to say about 7 years ago, one of my clients, she wore glasses every day, all day. And her eyes were really hurting when she took them off, and her eyes couldn't adjust.
Mm.
And so she had a few sessions with me, and we got to the core belief of why she actually believed that she couldn't see. What was
Yes.
she not
Yeah.
wanting to see in
Yeah.
herself and in her outer world?
Yes.
And we got to the really nitty gritty of that. And we
Yeah.
explored that and unraveled that and worked through
Yeah.
that. And
Unpacked it. Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
fifth session, she didn't need her glasses. She only needed them for driving.
Mm. How
And
good's
so
that?
that's energy. And then that's a physical
A physical
experience.
side effect or outcome from that
Yeah. Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another really beautiful experience that, and this always really holds a beautiful place in my heart, is they had a belief that they weren't worthy of living life to their fullest.
Yes.
And through generational experiences, through their own trauma,
Yeah.
they had held on to that they deserved those things happening.
Yeah.
And through it was a really, for them, it felt really heavy at the start because there was so many
Yeah.
layers of trauma and so many layers of experiences that they held on to that were holding them back from being this person they envisioned themselves to be.
Yeah.
And then by maybe like halfway through the 12-week course, towards the end of it, there was something that clicked. And they really went, oh my God, who am I being? Who have I? And there was just this light bulb moment where they started to really believe and that they are worthy, that they can do this, that they're
Yes.
so much more capable than they give themselves credit for.
Yeah.
That that simple light bulb, the language that they spoke and the little nuances that I noticed in the way that they spoke, I was just like, I was really in tears. It was beautiful. And then the rest of their course, they were just like running through and just really embracing their gifts and their new experiences. Those doors were now opening up for them.
Yeah.
And they are an amazing person. And those sort of things, it's just energy
Yes.
mixed
Yeah.
in with mixed in the fact that they were determined and focused to change and
Yes.
improve and grow and heal who they are to who they
Love
want to
that.
be.
And they had this deep realization, this aha moment of, oh, I do deserve that. I am worthy of that. You know, when you said too that they felt that they deserved those things happening to them because they didn't have that self-worth, right? So, and then once realizing that, like, it's just so empowering and
Powerful.
so wonderful to move forward. Yeah, I love that. So good.
Yay.
So good. So, what advice would you give to someone new, very, very new on their journey, new to these spiritual practices, and really eager to learn more? They might want to dip their toe. They might be feeling a bit apprehensive or, you know, whatever it might be. But what advice would you give to someone new? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this book called The Untethered Soul. It's by Michael A. Singer. I'm not too sure if you've heard of it, but it's this book about expanding consciousness. And it's a
Yes.
really beautiful tool to just honor and explore that there's more out there. And
Yes.
I would recommend getting in touch with someone like yourself or like myself and just asking questions
Questions are
and
good.
just exploring what is vibration, what is frequency, what are spirit guides, and
Yes.
just getting in touch with someone that we've got the experience, we've got the knowledge that can hold you in that and really create that safe space for you. Also, start to question the universe. So
Yes.
a simple
Questioning's good.
a
Yeah.
simple question of
Yeah.
what is manifesting?
Yeah.
What is affirmations? What is a rose quartz crystal? What
Yes.
is
What
Windsite?
is it? You know, what is it? How do I use it? Why would I use it? You know,
Mm,
the
mm.
how and the why, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mm.
so a powerful question that I started to ask myself when I first opened up to this incredible awareness was, why not me?
That's
Why
beautiful.
not
Yeah.
me?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
And that's been a really powerful question that most of my clients I've asked them to ask themselves, have been a channel. And every single time at the start of working with me, it's always, why not you? Why not
Yeah.
you? You're
Yeah.
amazing and incredible as you are. Why not you?
Why not?
There's
Yeah.
only one of you.
Yes.
You're
That's
not going to
exactly
be like
right.
anyone else. You don't want to be like anyone else. You want to
No.
be uniquely you.
Yeah. I mean, every, instrument in the orchestra, every beautiful sacred note, that enriches the world. We don't want to all be vanilla, do we?
No.
Some of us like chocolate or strawberry, right? So
Someone like this. Some of
um,
us like the rainbow.
that's it, the rainbow ice cream. That's exactly right. So what's on the cards for you, Steph? What have you got? I know you've got some beautiful online workshops and different things that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's
Yeah.
on the cards for Steph?
So I'm working with a beautiful woman from Mingle and Match. Her name's Pauline. We're hosting a LGBT singles speed mingling event. So it's
Oh, I
not
did
just,
see that. That looked
yeah,
really fabulous. Yeah.
thank you. It's not just speed dating. We're not here to put the pressure on anyone to go to meet someone that they're going to marry or they
Yeah.
have a connection with. It's for people that are interested in meeting friends, or they're there for speed dating, or they're there for love, or they're there for to meet connections. And it's for people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that have loved a lot, lived a lot, experienced a bit of life, and are wanting to find that community or that love or that friendship in a safe environment. They get a free drink, which who doesn't like a free drink?
Yeah.
They get some free food, and it's in Richmond at the Concrete Boots Bar. It's going to be an amazing afternoon.
When is
Um,
that?
it's on the 30th of November. It's Saturday.
Okay, this should come out before then. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Mm,
from 2 to 4:30. So a
yeah.
beautiful time in the afternoon where it's not early, it's not late.
Yeah.
You can still go home and have a nap if you want to.
Yeah. And that's just one example of the amazing things that you do and you will be doing, of course, too. So
Yeah,
I highly recommend that you look Steph up. So your contact details will be in the show notes, my love. But how do
beautiful.
people, what is the best way to
Mm.
connect with you and find you quickly, do you
So
think?
yeah, so Instagram and Facebook and TikTok are like my main three. As
Yeah.
I'm currently building my own website, as I'm building that, those are the platforms. You can reach me at Stephanie Coutts on Instagram. It's Stephanie Coutts Official, and everything else it's Stephanie Coutts. And you'll see the purple hair. You'll know it's me.
I love your purple hair. It's stunning. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. And I love when people comment, direct message me, and they've got all these questions, and they're like, what do I do? How do I do this? What
See?
does this
Yeah.
mean? And I'm
Ask
like,
the
oh,
oracle, right? Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your courage, your wisdom, your vulnerability, your beautiful, beautiful offerings. And I just celebrate you, appreciate you, bow to you, my love. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor. This space has been incredible. And thank you so much for having me on here. And you're amazing in what you do. And I honor what you do as well. And thank you for creating this podcast for people to come on and listen and explore their spirituality and speak about what they do. So thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor.
Oh, I felt that in my heart. Thank you. Bye for
Thank
now.
you. Bye.
Bye.